Thank you both for your time. Scott, you picked a guy that you might have thought in the beginning wasn't right for the role. Mm-hmm. What convinced you that Zac should get that role of the soldier in Afghanistan, the Marine, who comes from a dancing, theatre, I'm gorgeous background?
Yeah, actually, well put. It was Zac who convinced me, actually, because we met and he had such an enthusiasm for this part and such an eagerness to do it and to really to reach beyond what he'd done before. It made a huge impression on me because I thought, I'm going to need that energy. You know, I need that sort of eagerness from an actor, you know, day by day through a long shoot. And at the same time, we talked about the work that would be involved. And basically, I mean, Zac, you said to me on that first meeting, tell me what I need to do, and I will do it. And he was as good as his word. I mean, from that day on, it was like, it wasn't just about the physical thing, which was a big undertaking to
yes.
really put on so much muscle. But it was also about the, you know, mental attitude and finding that in himself, finding that element of being a former Marine, you know.
Now Zac, you put on all this muscle, and yet, in true Scott Hicks tradition, when it gets to the love scene with Taylor, very understated, which makes it more powerful. We didn't get to see much anyway. So you did it because it required a degree of athleticism, or it was the look? What was it?
I think it was both. I think it was just something. It was something that I wondered if I could do. It was a big challenge. It was a big undertaking. I think it meant a lot to the character. You know, it meant a lot for me and the character. Yes. It helped me. You know, say this is not me. This is someone different. It was great for my headspace, and it was just one more thing that I think somebody else might not do or could be lazy, but I had the work ethic to pull it off.
I have to say...
Can I just add to that?
Sure.
Actually, also what it did was it affected many different things. The way he stood,
yes.
the way he walked, his whole
There was a lot of you walking.
Yeah,
there was a lot of that.
And he had to walk like a Marine. I mean, and that really is a thing. It's not, you know, it's not Zac's walk that you see there. He's found the deportment of a Marine, and that
the
was
dog
really
was a
important.
lovely touch. They did everything you told them to, because in real life they rarely ever do that, of course. but a lot of face shots and really emotional. You were using your eyes in a way. You could see this love relationship developing with Taylor.
Thanks.
But it was very subtly done and building up. This is one of your traits, Scott. That's what you're about. Snowballing on cedars.
I like working with good actors. I mean, that's, you know, the essence of it. And there was a lot that was not dialogue driven for
but a lot of face shots and your eyes doing the talking. Were you used to that? Because not every actor can do that.
No, I wasn't used to it. That was one of the things that I liked most about the character. Logan was a man of few words.
Yeah.
He didn't have to. There weren't no niceties with him. He didn't have to make you feel good, you know?
Now, apart from the working out and the kind of diet you'd have to keep to get yourself looking the way you wanted to, there's another aspect to this, as I understand it, that you and Scott went down to a Marine base and you actually... So what did you do? You spent some time with the soldiers to kind of get the feel for what they were about?
Yes.
Yeah, Marines,
with
not
Marines.
soldiers.
Yeah.
They're very.
I made that
very
mistake
distinct
on the first
about
day.
the word soldiers is wrong. They are Marines.
Yeah.
And we hung out with them, and at first they were very cautious. I mean, they were closed off to us. You know,
Rightfully
here
so.
comes Hollywood. You know, what do we?
So how did you win them across?
Well, it was really. I just tried to get them to understand that. We wanted to respect what they did, and in order to do that, we had to know the right way to go about things. And if we were going to do that, they would have to share their world with us. And eventually they did, and they started to talk to Zac, and they really embraced him, I think, as one of them.
There's a lovely scene in the movie where you're being goaded to fight by the ex of the girl that you're going to be in love with. Mm-hmm. And he is really pushing you, and he gets drunk, and he pulls out a gun. And you do this very clever maneuver. You do this very clever maneuver where you take the gun off him and point it at him, and it's almost that fast you didn't even notice it happened. Now, you got to have picked that up somewhere. It wouldn't be part of your normal career. Did the Marines teach you that?
They did. I learned that from Master Sergeant. Literally, yeah. That was a move that I picked up from the Marines.
Yeah, and of course, Scott, you set up this relationship between the three, this menage a trois, and it looks as if, you know, I was expecting there's going to be a fight or something. I'm not going to give anything away here.
Well, you've done that already.
But the way, but not necessarily, no. But the way this is turned on its head finally, in the way
I'm really glad you say that, because
Yeah.
you know, in the original script that I had, that turned into a full mano a mano thing where
Really?
Logan beat up the guy who was drunk, you know, and it was
'Cause that's what everybody was expecting.
Well, it was a real test of masculinity, blah
Yeah.
blah blah. And I said, I just think that is like old school. You know, I think it's counter the character, the nature of the character, his sense of decency. I didn't think the audience would think better of him for doing that. So I took a chance with it because it was counter to every expectation of an American movie at that point.
That kind of won me in a way.
I'm so pleased, because
well,
it's
it did,
really,
because it wasn't the traditional thing you'd expect. With the opening scene in was set in Afghanistan. Now, how difficult was that, Zach? Was that again one of these Master Sergeant, I've taught me this, so now I'll look real? Or how did you? Because that was a very intense scene, not one that you, Scott, would normally be directing. So that's the start
that was
of
a
the
great
movie.
challenge. It was
Yeah,
fun.
because I call this a war movie turned on its head.
Right. Great.
I don't call it it's a love story, yes, but that's what
I
it
love
is.
that.
Perfect.
So tell me, so how did you figure in the opening scene? Was it very challenging to do that?
It was challenging, but luckily I was surrounded by Marines. Those were all real Marines in that scene, so I would defer to them for virtually every second, every detail. I straight up told them, I was like, guys, I want as much help and support here as I have. If I do anything that looks ingenuine or doesn't look right, or if there's anything you would do in a scenario that I'm not doing, tell me. And the whole time they were saying, you know, this is what you'd actually do. This is what I'd do in this scenario. So
This is not a chick flick.
Yeah.
And I think it's the movie that's given you the gateway to a completely different type of Hollywood. Because, you know, look, there are a lot of pretty guys, good bodies. You obviously want more than that. And I think you've actually taken your craft to another level. And the reason I say that is because your facial expressions and the emotions you were able to convey both in your eyes and not saying much, because you didn't do that much dialogue. If you kind of look at him, you expect him to be saying stuff, and all we would do is have people talking to you, and you kind of very pensively sort of putting everything through your little head, but not saying a lot, but your eyes kind of almost this post-traumatic stress. How the hell did you pick that up? Because not a lot of actors can do that either.
I think that has a lot to do with just the integrity of Logan as a character. That was how we always viewed the character, and it was different. It was a lot different than what I was used to. But that level of maturity to just take things in and not have to say anything back, it was pretty special.
We are running out of time.
Yeah.
What happens now?
What happens now?
What happens now? What happens after
In the
this?
Zac
You leave
Efron
Adelaide, you
story.
go
Zac
back.
Efron story? I mean, we're going to premiere the movie here tonight.
Yeah.
Very excited about that. After that, I did a movie called Paperboy, which is going to come out, which is going to be, it has a fantastic cast. Nicole Kidman is in the movie.
Yes.
Ozzy herself.
Yeah.
She was great to work with. And then from there on, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Scott, thanks for bringing this guy here.
Yeah.
Hey, it's my pleasure, and thanks to him to make the effort. You know, because it's a deal, and it's really you know, it's terrific when somebody does the work as Zac does, but then also does the work supporting the movie all over the world.
Yes.
And that's another mark, I think, of someone whose career is heading in a really, really interesting direction.
Thank you so much to both of you.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Appreciate it.